She didn't even look nervous when she said it. We were sitting across from each other at the small oak table in our kitchen, the one we picked out together 8 years earlier because she liked how solid it felt. Her arms were crossed, her phone face down, and there was that smirk. Not anger, not guilt, amusement. "I found someone better," she said, like she was commenting on a new brand of coffee. Then she added, "His name's Mike." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because something inside me finally detached. I'm Rowan Caldwell. I'm 43. For most of my adult life, I believed consistency mattered more than charm. I worked logistics management, paid every bill on time, fixed things when they broke, showed up when I said I would. When I met Elara Whitby, she said she loved that about me. Sighed I felt safe, said I was dependable. For years, that was enough. We built a quiet life, not flashy, but stable. Dinners at home, weekend errands, occasional trips that never quite happened because something always came up. The distance didn't arrive all at once. It seeped in. Conversations shortened. Eye contact faded. She started guarding her phone like it was classified. I noticed, of course. I just didn't panic. I told myself this was what long relationships did. People settle. Passion cools. You adjust. I adjusted more than I should have. I gave her space, took on more responsibility, lowered my expectations. Somewhere along the way, compromise turned into erasure, and I barely noticed it happening. When? She finally said it out loud. When she told me there was someone else, I expected it to hurt more. Instead, there was clarity. She smiled like she'd won something, like she was finally upgrading. That's when she said his name again. Mike. Casual. Confident. I asked what made him better. She shrugged, said he made her feel alive, said he listened, said he had ambition. I nodded. Then I laughed again, quietly, because none of that was actually about me. She mistook my laugh for weakness. That was the smirk, the assumption that I would unravel, that I would plead or demand explanations or bargain for scraps of dignity. She didn't know me as well as she thought. I asked her when she was moving out. That caught her off guard. She said she hadn't figured that out yet. Said we could be civil. Take time. I told her she could have 30 days. Not as an ultimatum, as information. That night, while she slept peacefully, I sat in the living room and took inventory of my life, not emotionally, practically. Accounts, subscriptions, insurance, timelines. I wasn't angry. Anger is loud. This was quiet, focused. I realized something important in that silence. I had been carrying far more weight than I ever acknowledged. And now there was no reason to keep carrying it for someone who had already stepped away. Over. The next week, I didn't confront her again. I didn't mention Mike. I went to work, cooked my meals, moved my essentials into the spare room. I spoke when spoken to, calm, neutral. She started to notice the shift. The absence of reaction unnerved her more than shouting ever could. She asked if I was okay. I said I was adjusting, which was true. Adjustment doesn't require noise. Then, on a Tuesday afternoon, she asked if we could talk about finances. She said transitions were expensive, that she would need support while she figured things out. I looked at her and finally understood. The entire picture, the smirk, the confidence, the assumption of continuity. She thought I was a fixed asset, something that would remain useful even after replacement. That's when I told her no. Simply no. Her expression changed. Confusion first, then irritation. She said I was being petty. I said I was being accurate. She reminded me of our history. I reminded her of her choice. She mentioned Mike again, this time less confidently. I smiled. Not out of spite. Out of certainty. Because she still thought this was a comparison. It wasn't. I had already exited the competition. She moved out on day 22. Earlier than planned. Quieter than expected. When the door closed behind her, the house felt larger. Not emptier. Lighter. I slept deeply for the first time in years. A week later, a mutual acquaintance mentioned Mike in passing. Apparently, things were complicated. Apparently, he wasn't quite what she imagined. I didn't ask questions. I didn't need updates. Closure isn't something you wait for. It's something you decide. A month later, she texted me. Just my name. Nothing else. I didn't respond. Not because I was cruel. Because there was nothing left to say. She had made her move. I had made mine. Somewhere out there, she was learning that better is a temporary illusion when it's built on entitlement. As for me, I wasn't plotting revenge. I wasn't hoping for her regret. I was busy rebuilding something far more valuable. Myself.